INDICASAT tiene el honor de recibirlos el día de hoy en el simposio virtual Carotenoides del Mamey, su química y actividad biológica contra la enfermedad de Alzheimer. Este simposio ha sido organizado dentro del marco del proyecto de generación de capacidades GC 2018-010 financiado por la CENACIT. Damos la bienvenida a los expositores y a los participantes de los diferentes países que tenemos inscritos: Colombia, Brasil, Costa Rica, México, Estados Unidos, India y Panamá. Agradecemos a todos por unirse a esta sesión virtual. Las preguntas pueden escribirlas en el chat y estaremos leyéndolas al final de cada presentación. Damos inicio a nuestra agenda del día de hoy con las palabras de bienvenida por parte del doctor Ricardo Lleonart, director de INDICASAT.
Buenos días. En nombre del Instituto de Investigaciones Científicas y Servicios de Alta Tecnología, queremos darle la más cordial bienvenida a este evento tan interesante. Tengo que hacer la aclaración de que yo no soy especialista en el tema, aunque sí puedo dejar fe, sin constancia, de que esta fruta es una fruta realmente deliciosa. Hasta ahí llega mi conocimiento científico sobre el tema. Queremos hacer un agradecimiento muy sentido a todas las personas que han permitido este evento, en particular a la Secretaría Nacional de Ciencia y Tecnología, el Sistema Nacional de Investigación, la Universidad Nacional de Colombia, la Universidad de Texas en San Antonio, y especialmente a los expositores, el doctor Jagannatha Rao, el doctor Ali y la doctora Lleonart, que es una de las investigadoras de nuestro instituto. Esta temática es muy importante para INDICASAT por dos sentidos fundamentales. En primer lugar, INDICASAT está muy interesado en lograr incorporar las metodologías de síntesis química más avanzadas para poder comenzar a trabajar la generación de nuevas moléculas que puedan tener un impacto en la terapéutica de todas las posibles enfermedades que puedan ser atacadas en un determinado blanco. Y desde otro punto de vista, el tema Alzheimer para nosotros también es muy importante porque el instituto ya tiene algunos años de experiencia en investigaciones en Alzheimer. Hay prácticamente varios investigadores que han estado trabajando el tema de Alzheimer durante varios años. Este año, por ejemplo, nuestro instituto se ganó 4 proyectos de investigación de una convocatoria de la CENACIT en el tema de Alzheimer. Y en estos temas, el instituto cubre diferentes rangos de aplicación, desde aplicaciones muy básicas, de ciencia básica, hasta aplicaciones más cercanas a la clínica, como tiene que ver, por ejemplo, el uso de biomarcadores para poder establecer diagnóstico precoz de la enfermedad. Pienso que es muy importante también que incluyamos en estas discusiones científicas los temas de fisiopatología de la enfermedad, que están muy en discusión. Como hemos comentado anteriormente, la hipótesis del amiloide es una hipótesis que está bien debatida y no está totalmente definido el rol en la fisiopatología de la agregación de amiloide. Por tanto, son temas que son de gran interés científico. Hay mucho camino todavía por hacer investigación y no creo que solo en este simposio vayamos a poder tener tiempo para discutir todos estos temas que son tan importantes. Entonces, sin más, yo nuevamente les doy la bienvenida al simposio. Yo no creo que yo pueda llenar 15 minutos hablando del tema, pero estoy seguro que nuestro próximo expositor, el doctor Jagannatha Rao, va a agradecer unos minutos adicionales para su exposición. Entonces, sin más, bienvenidos y gracias por su presencia acá en este simposio.
Muchas gracias, doctor, por sus palabras. Ahora pasamos a presentar a nuestro primer expositor del día de hoy. Es el doctor Jagannatha Rao, quien cuenta con una licenciatura en química, zoología y botánica, maestría y doctorado en zoología por la Universidad de Sri India. El doctor Rao es un reconocido científico en el área de neurociencias con 201 publicaciones y fue director de INDICASAT en el periodo 2010-2021. El doctor Jagannatha Rao el día de hoy nos hablará acerca de la enfermedad de Alzheimer y nuevos objetivos bioquímicos para el descubrimiento de fármacos. Bienvenido, doctor Rao. Welcome, Dr. Rao. You can start.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Ricardo, Dr. Lleonart, Dr. Marisin, Dr. Ali, and Dr. Archivalis, all our team, for this opportunity. I'm very happy to, tell some of the important progress that has been made in the project and some of the important discoveries that has been made by Lleonart and all our team. First, let me congratulate Dr. Lleonart, Dr. Ali, and Dr. Jagadish, myself, and Dr. Murali for the recent paper we published on carotenoids and neurodegeneration modeling studies in International Journal of Molecular Science. That has been highest viewed and highest cited in a very short time, and great teamwork. Let me congratulate Dr. Lleonart on this process. Because I am not going to much present on the data because Lleonart and Ali are going to present on that. So I am skipping that, but I am presenting an introduction onto this. Very important for a human being, especially in brain, you have to have a very lifestyle model. Like you have to take water, nutrition, exercise, and brain. All these things play a very important role in your lifestyle and maintaining your mental health challenges in the current situation. COVID added more of those problems because of the increase of the anxiety, increase of the depression, increase of the other aspects that has created more mental health issues. For example, the important aspect in human brain is we only understood 20% of the brain. That means 80% is still brain not understood. So we are still having enormous challenging problems in mapping the brain itself. Normal brain I'm talking. And if you imagine, if it is a diseased brain, as Alzheimer's, Parkinson, even depression, it has been more challenged because there are no biomarkers and there are no clear, neuronal circuit mapping and other things which will help us to understand the problems. So those are the important contributions the Panama has made. We have a brain center in INDICASAT and in collaboration with extensively with not only from in Panama but also outside, like Colombia, many countries, we were able to achieve those models. So thanks to the team of Dr. Britton and our team, all these people who made a very significant contribution to this field from Panama. Brain is a very complex organ. As you know that it has trillions of cells, hundreds of billions of neurons, and we have a lot of connectivities. And then we have two sides, left and right side brain. Understanding brain waves is still a challenge. We have a brain mapping conference in Los Angeles in February, where we are also going to present on this process. And then learning models, learning modalities and intelligence aspects. These are the major thing. And one of the important difficult thing even today to understand is the memory. How to develop the complex molecules to treat some of the problems what we are going to face, either memory loss or the depression, suicidal behavior, interpersonality relationships. All these things are very crucial. You know that in human, very unique because we have a linguistic approach, mathematical, musical, visual, spatial, and also we have a physical and interpersonal relation. We not only built ourselves problem within our personality, but also when we have relation with the other people. If you come to the mapping of the brain, National Institute of Health and many institutions around the world, including the Paris Brain Institute in Paris and other things, extensively working using the imaging studies. One of the important they are doing is the mapping through imaging studies. Another one is the neural circuit mapping, and then fMRI mapping for functionality. What spots need to be functionally useful? That's what we are understanding. Imagine a human is only using 10% of the brain. We're not using 90% of the brain. With the 10% of the brain, we were able to make a lot of innovation, lot of new discoveries in the world. So that's very important. We need to understand how to use and how to build our lifestyle capacities on this process. Because of the problem we have, if we have a problem in the brain, it is very difficult to treat. As you know that even starting from anxiety to attention deficit to so many things, we don't have any molecules to build the functionality back. One of the important, as you know, that memory is a very important target right now in the world. All over the world, people are working, including MIT and other things, where it's not only biology, it's not only medical people, but we have a computer science. We have people from different fields working, mathematics, and other areas. Important is the 3 R's. Memory has a 3 R's. Is called registration of the information, retention of the information, recall the information. If we have any problem with one of the R's, the registration, retention, recall, then we have a memory related issues going on. So this is where we have a very important aspect going on, like how to keep memory, how to improve memory. Is one of the important is the time relaxations, and then be active using many kinds of intelligence. Don't feel stressed. Don't say you cannot do multiple things. You should learn to do multiple things, and then also practice. Practice, very important. You need to practice either reading, is the performance thing, and sleep on time. Minimum 7 hours sleep is required for any brain to be active. And also to keep your heart young, you need to do this process. The other significant part we have, slide is moving.
Yes.
Okay. The other important part everybody is facing is a complaint of stress biology. Everybody stress for everything we get stressed. I would like to tell, especially in the audience of younger minds, those people who are below 28 to 30 years, those people brain never aged in the beginning. That means you are starting, you age, you become 20, 21, 22, 23, 28, but your brain is as young as you are there in the beginning. But the brain start aging only from 28. So that's why we want people to targetly study many of the competitive things you have to learn with the age. One of the important thing, when you get stress, one of the important thing happen in the brain is the neuroadaptation. Like, when you get stressed, when you don't overcome the problems, the brain gets adapted into different models. Either you become a gossip, involved in gossip process, or you may be involved in self-talking, criticism attitude, isolation technique, avoidance, workaholic, avoid work, and eating abnormal. That's why you have obesity problems right now happening, or more than hallucinations. So these are very, very complex phenomena right now going through in the society, also in human body. That's why we should be very careful in processing this in the brain, so that become very potential. For example, there is no drug and no compound in the world that can control any one of them. So you have the issue, you have no answer how you need to handle the complex issue. So this is where we would like you to keep the brain always functionally active, structurally active, and also biologically active. That's very, very important thing we suggest. The other is important aspect is when the things happen in the brain. I think there is moving problem. When the things happen in the brain, complex issues, then when you don't control your emotions, it's not just your mindset, but whole body response. Whole body, your muscles, your eyes, circulation process, vascularization issues, all these things play a very important role in maintaining your control. When you have a repeated depression and when you have a repeated process of issues with your psychological thing, then you land up into any one of these signals. If you land up into any one of these signals, you have to be very alert. You have a memory issues, difficulty problems, language issues, not remembering things, misplacing things, changing moods and behavior very often, change in personality, lot of initiative. Any one of the 10 signs you have to take care of the brain part. What happens in those things? If you insult your brain mentally or even physically, you have issues like trauma conditions, accidents, so many things. And you have stress and also your blood pressure and this low performing vascularization, cholesterol deposition in the carotid artery, all these things play a very dynamic role. What happens when you have that? The normal cell get tangles. You get a lot of proteins get accumulated because there are biochemical changes happen in the brain. That's where we need to be very, very careful. Now we are discovering molecules to treat them. But imagine Alzheimer's has become 100 years old disease. Even today, we don't know the mechanism, number one. Number two, we have 50 million people right now having Alzheimer's disease. For example, by 2050, the number is going to be 150 million. In spite of all the research we have, the number is still going up. So that means we don't have a successful medicine so far in 20 years. We have not successfully passed any medicine through clinical trials. There's a lot of complexity involved in this process. That's why one should be very, very careful. And this is going to be a huge burden by 2050. Human health issue is going to be very important, especially with reference to mental health issues. For example, water, how much water you need, why you should not dehydrate, very important. You should drink enormous water and enough water in body, because in body, the water is distributed in brain, blood, heart, bones and other things, and including muscle, liver and kidney. So you need to take enormous amount of water, but quality should be good and you should maintain. Water is a fundamental issue. Water cannot substitute by juices and other drinks. You need to be very clear on this point, because you cannot mix sugar part. Sugar is a different part required for the body, but you cannot excessively take sugar also into this process. So when you take the important aspect, when you reduce your water, what will happen? You get skin issues, and you get fatigue in the muscles, and also you have a boost in the immune system issues, all these things. And if you have a dehydration, you get a headache. The first symptom of dehydration is a headache. So if you have those things, the only treatment for this is water. There's nothing, no molecule, you don't need to take paracetamol or other things. You can use any one of them. Only the water is the substitution for that. And when you want to also identify, you have an understanding, you have a feeling for eating purpose. You know that you would like to eat different kinds of food. You have a desire, love. That feeling for is completely controlled by your signals in the brain. You want to eat sweets, you want to eat poyo, you want to eat something else. All these are controlled by these signals. So the brain mapping is very crucial to know that what is your functionality of the brain is happening. Before people get treated, people should know that all the Alzheimer's condition or all the Parkinson's disease condition, MRI will not be similar. If you do fMRI, the functionality of each region in each person is completely different. For example, the cerebellum, which is known for the movement disorders, because we know that cerebrum, the midbrain region, play a very important role in the movements, moving the hand, all these things. But now they also entangled with emotions. The very recent publication came that they have emotional touches. That means neuronal circuit issues have become very challenging issues now. So using that, one should know how much food and what you need to eat. You have a food pyramid. That means how much cereals you have to eat, how much pulses you have to eat, how much fruits you have to eat, how much meat you have to eat, how much you have to eat oil, and how much you need to drink. So there is a pyramid follow-up, which is very important to maintain the quality of health. That's very important. And it also influences your brain. That's important for you. When you take up your activity, like your lifestyle, your interpersonality issues, how that influences the brain. For example, you have many of them, like called brain lightening. We call battery of memory, better memories, attention deficit, mind power, enhancing your IQ, emotional disturbances. What will happen to them? When you have those disturbances, your hormones get affected. The levels of hormone will be altered. When you have a hormonal level altered, then you have a holistic model in the body is going to change. That means you have a functionality problem with the ovary, testes, and then liver, pancreas. So many biological things happen. So you need to control your brain activity very well. And if you have a nutritional issue, lifestyle issue, environmental coupled things, and then you have these model cycle goes through. When you have once that cycle is disturbed, then you have a health issue problem. So one should be very careful in maintaining this process. For example, the lifestyle, even from the kids to everybody, like people, what they eat, we don't know, because they're focusing on only the TV, television, cell phones, all these things. When you are eating, you should know how to eat. You want to sleep, you have to sleep in a posture. And when you are focusing with the computer, you should sit in a direction. Same thing, you need to follow exercise. Every day you should walk, you should plan, and you should play, and you should be around active. This is physical active, but also you become mentally active. You have to keep yourself mentally active. If you do exercise and no exercise, you can see brain circulation pattern change. So you have to physically, you have to mentally, you have to psychologically keep ever active. That's a very dimension. If you have any one molecule, is not going to enhance your blood circulation process. So that's what we have the complexity in stroke. Stroke is a big issue that is going on right now in the current day challenges. So the very important we call, no matter what age you are, your mental exercise is very important. What is mental exercise? Coupling many activities, like starting from physical, biological, and then psychological, thinking ability, reading ability, writing ability, all these things keep your brain intellectually very strong. Once you have that intellectuality issue, then you become very strong in your mental exercise, and keep your circulation, your oxygenation in the brain very strong. That keeps your brain very healthy. So in INDICASAT, so we will run a lot of activities. Not only we do research, but also we do nutritional awareness. Like we have supported by International Brain Research Organization, and lot of presentations were made to the young student to tell them the value of nutrition, value of the the different foods you have to eat and other thing, especially to encourage young minds. They need to take up research, number one, investigations. Number two, they should also think differently, and they are the future generation of Panama. We want to keep them mentally, biologically, psychologically very strong generation for the country. So Panama is going to be most beautiful when we have very healthy environment, healthy people with a healthy brain. And very important, last but not least, is enjoy your time with intrapersonality. Please don't develop conflicts because you want to develop a love. You have no molecule except oxytocin, which is a natural biological molecule. You don't have any other molecule which is going to promote that. So you have naturally inbuilt process. You don't have biochemicals taken from outside. You don't have a supplements. You don't have any one of them going to protect. They only support some activity. But you need to keep your brain very, very strong. That way, because still we don't know 80% of brain. That's why we need to be very, very alert and careful. So this is very important. Spend your time the best way. Do the performance to the best way, and they love your country, love your people, love your your situations and institution. Own yourself, own the process. That makes you internally happy, not only activity brain, but not only on smile, but also on the internal active. These are the very, very crucial points which I would like to highlight. And then before I close, I would like to remember the contributions of Arthur Mello, who was an instrumental in building up Center for Brain Science in Panama, especially in INDICASAT. He contributed almost $1 million roughly for the different projects and different activities, and then made Panamanian students very proud. We have a large number of students, and Panama is now in the top in publications because we have published large number of new papers and large number of new information to the world. It's not just the papers, new information to the world. And Panama has become a leader because we had Nobel laureates invited to INDICASAT, and we have the special issue of the journals. So many new activities are coming up. With this, I especially thank all INDICASAT team, where I was part of that for last 12 years, and I enjoyed the best part of Panama. I love Panama always, and we make the Panama as a leader, not just doing research in Panama, but also developing international networking. Thank you very much.